What's going on, guys? Just completely messed up my intro, but I'm gonna do it anyway. What's up, guys? I'm YoungWanSu.
Bryce is wrong.
Public's back, boy. YoungWeezy, 87. I love the harmonic in this room. And welcome back to another episode of All Memories, a series where me and my friends, we sit here and we tell stories that we may or may not be proud of. And I think today, this episode, YoungWeezy's got a good story for us that I've never heard before. So how about you? You kind of briefly told us a little about the story, but I want you to jump into it because I really want to hear the story.
All right, so Bryce and Dylan were coming over to my house. They just came over to like hang out for a minute, and on the way over, Bryce was driving behind Dylan, and in my neighborhood,
Dylan takes the long route through his neighborhood.
I don't know why, because he's freaking Dylan.
Because this was the first time I was going to Carter's neighborhood, so I had no idea how to get there.
And Dylan took him the long way through like the whole neighborhood.
I think you did it just to mess with them, or
that's what he was
and
doing.
He came around one turn, and there was a kid. I don't know how far away was the kid from the car.
This kid was about,
you want to say like a good 20, 30 feet?
Yeah, a good 20, 30 feet in the middle of the road.
And Dylan slows and stops. Dylan stops. And
no, Dylan didn't really stop. Dylan was going.
He just slowed down.
But the kid, as soon as he saw the car, sprinted out. Like
just
the kid
sprinted inside.
Sprinted to the yard.
And Dylan was like,
he sprinted to the yard, and I look over, and he's looking at us like, I'm like,
okay.
And then they go ahead and just come on to my house. And
did they just watch you just go to your house so they knew?
I guess he knew what kind of car Dylan had.
Yeah,
okay.
The little white car.
Just the freaking Buick.
Yeah, the white Buick. And I guess he just looked for the white Buick outside the house.
Okay, I got you now.
And we were just chilling. I was playing Xbox, and we were just chilling, talking and stuff. And I hear this knock on my door, and I'm like, "The heck's at my house?" So I get up, and he was like, "Is the guy that owns that white Buick here?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I went back and I was like, Dylan, someone wants to talk to you. So Dylan goes out there.
I think that's when Dylan's like, oh no.
No, Dylan was fired up. Dylan was
like ready to fight.
Dude, I got fired up because he was yelling at him too. I was like,
I was in the bed busted out laughing. But this is what happened. The dude walks up and said, "So you almost hit my kid?" And Dylan's like, "No, your kid was a good distance from my car, and I slowed down enough, and your kid freaked out and sprinted and ran back." And the dude was like, getting all up in Dylan's face, and Dylan, you know Dylan. Dylan,
he
back then he had a mouth on him.
Here's the
he
thing
was
about
like way back, and I was right next to the dude. I was like standing right next to the guy.
But
this is in my neighborhood.
No, give it a little bit of background on Dylan. Dylan is literally
it's like a road over.
A little background on Dylan. Dylan is literally what, 5'6"?
5'5".
He's short. Okay,
but he has a mouth.
He's small, but the thing is, he has that little man syndrome, and he's
thinks
small,
he's
but
bigger than everybody else.
He thinks he's bigger than everybody else. So
that's why he's dissing little people, man.
Like that's why he talks a big game, and it will get in your face. But anyway, go ahead.
And the dude was like threatening to call the cops and all this stuff, and Dylan was like, "Do it," and all this kind of. And then the dude just left.
But he sat in his car for like 5
minutes.
Yeah.
He went and got in his car and sat in his car for like 5-10 minutes.
And we're like,
we were like, what is he doing? Is he like? He was parked behind Dylan too. So we were like, is he writing his license plate number down? What is he doing?
And Dylan, I think, was like, yeah, he's writing my license plate number down.
That's just
probably was.
It's just creepy that he just kind of sat there and chilled for.
And
that's weird.
So
that would have made me like want to call the cops.
And then I just went back to playing Xbox, went back to talking for a minute, and then 20-30 minutes later, Dylan was like, "All right, deuces, we're gonna dip out."
Yeah, I think he was like a little too fired up.
And I think you left before, didn't you?
No, we left at the same time. Did you see what happened?
They pulled out. They pulled out on Blueberry Lane. They pulled out on that road.
Okay.
And they were headed toward Gayfer. They took a left and went on. And you were behind them, weren't you?
As soon as Dylan pulls out of the road, and I glance left.
There's a cop coming down Blueberry, and as soon as Dylan passes him, that cop whips his car around.
Goes through the little grass.
Yeah, goes in the ditch and everything, dude.
way.
And Dylan gets to the stop sign. The cop turns on his lights.
Oh
And I'm right
no!
behind him just...
Was the cop in front of you?
The cop was in front of me.
And so Dylan pulls over, and the cop was like, are you the kid that almost hit the little kid?" And Dylan was like, "Yeah, but I was nowhere near the kid." And he was like, "Well, yeah, these people in this neighborhood. I mean, you gotta go a little below the speed limit in the neighborhood because these old people in this neighborhood are real freaky and everything." And the cop was real cool about it.
The cop was probably thinking, like, these people are freaking stupid. Like, these people be crazy.
Dylan is the luckiest person with cops.
Yeah, he is.
He's been pulled over like 5 times. Every time he's worn a football jacket.
Yeah.
So he's like, I think it's the jacket. I think they're letting me get away with it because I'm on the football team. I'm like, you scumbag.
There was one time me and Dylan were somewhere.
We that's one thing. We had the luxury of the fact that we played football. Like the cops really loved us. If we wore anything that said "fair football" on it, they're like, "Oh, y'all, whatever."
Yeah, we were.
Full disclosure.
You know, there are 2 stop signs in my neighborhood, right in the front by that big field.
You don't want to get the cops.
Well, there was the first stop sign closest to the gaffer. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan was like, "Bet you won't run it." He was like, "Do it if you're bad," and I was like, "All right." And no one is ever going this way. Ever. You can always, so I just ran straight through it, and there was a Jeep that had just turned on in the neighborhood when I passed. And I saw him, and I knew I wasn't going to friggin' hit him because unless he was going like 150 billion miles an hour down the street.
Right.
And he gets behind me and follows me all the way to my house.
Really?
Gets out of his car, and he was like, "You saw that stop sign back there?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Why'd you run it?" I was like, "Because I knew no one was coming." And he was like, "Well, it's a neighborhood. You need to stop next time." And I was like, "All right, dude." He was a dick.
He retired U.S. Army.
He is. Well, he was a freaking prick.
It's funny when I passed Dylan when he was getting pulled over. I look at him. He just gave me that face, his little smirk. I knew it. I was like,
Well,
I thought it
just
was
knew
hilarious
that was-
because when Dylan was going, the dude was trying to backfire and get Dylan, but Dylan was just spitting at him, dude. Dude couldn't say anything.
I helped out Dylan too. I was like,
Dude,
I was right behind him.
I was
We were
laughing. I had to go in my room. I was laughing so hard. It was so.
I would have done the same thing.
Funny.
It's like stories like that. It's like if had I been there, I would do the same thing you did. I would just laugh and walk away. And it's like, I'm not even gonna get involved.
The guy
in
kind of
this.
yelled at me too, and
Because
I
you were
was like,
defending
whoa.
He's like,
Talking to me.
Because when
Step
Dylan
off,
first
bro.
got to
Step
my
off.
house, Dylan told me about it. They both told me about the kid.
Yeah.
And how he freaked out and ran and was like, "Dude, what the heck?"
I know, we were like, what's this kid? We just let this kid freak out.
your kid just randomly just
Spaz.
just had a
No,
spaz
and
attack
this
over
was
there. I don't know what
this
happened.
was the guy's excuse for him knowing that his son was almost hit. He wasn't there. He didn't see it.
Yeah.
He had a neighbor watching the kid.
He can't watch his own kid?
And the
What
neighbor...
an irresponsible parent.
I know,
man.
you're letting your kid play out. You're letting your 5-year-old kid play out in the middle of the road on a scooter. Playing, and you're having a neighbor watch him. Really. And then you're going to believe the neighbor of what happened. Your neighbor, I didn't even see your neighbor out there.
But why? But the question is, why would you let your neighbor watch your
can't you
child?
watch your own
Why can't you
kid?
watch your own child?
Yeah.
What is so important that
You can go harass a
you
teenager.
can't
but
watch
you
your own
can't
child
watch
play
your
in the
own
yard
child.
Yeah, he can
on
arrest
a busy street?
Wasn't that busy?
It's not even a busy street.
I'm just saying it's a busy
neighborhood.
street just to add emphasis to the story. But anyway, that's a pretty. That's actually a pretty funny story.
If you know Dylan, there's a bunch of Dylan stories we got.
There are probably more Dylan stories
Oh,
around.
yes, there will.
Yes, there will be.
We got one. Brett and Carter have one really good one that's gonna be a fun
man.
story to tell. But that's a story for
Yeah,
another day.
I know the story too.
Let's not get any
Tune in
details.
next week.
Shut it!
Tune in
Let's not get any details.
Tune in next week.
Tune in next week for your chance to win a free.
Black Ops 2 game.
Whoa, no.
Free breath of air.
No.
Free life.
Free
A
Converse
free
sneaker.
copy of NCAA 2008 on the OG Xbox. All right, guys. Well, that about wraps up for this episode. If you liked it, please drop it a like, and if you haven't subscribed to me already and you want to, then you
Because
can.
we only have 14.
Yeah, don't have a lot, but if you don't have to, but it'd be really cool if you did.
Publix bag boy out. Moral of the story: don't run over little kids.
Yeah,
I
don't,
have an erection.
Watch hitting little kids, and you're trying to copy Bryce now.
We gotta end it with that every time now.
I don't want to end that with every time.
You know what?
I like
I
turtles.
don't know. I messed it up.
What did you just
I don't
say?
know what I'm saying. I'm delusional and I'm out.
I like turtles.
You don't know about me.